Hello, everyone. My name is Reza Assasi. I'm a practicing architect in Canada, Ontario. And I did my first master's in architecture in Tehran, and another post-professional master's at McGill, and a PhD in architecture history and theory. And I've been teaching at Centennial College and Toronto Metropolitan University. Today, I'm going to talk about research that I've been, it's a continuous research. I started 20 years ago, so I shrink 20 years of discoveries in astronomy, archaeology, history of religion, history of science, into 20 minutes, as I promised. I'm going to read from a script. I don't like to read from a script, but that is the only way I can make it in 19 minutes. So this is the remains of Roman Mithraic temple in the heart of London, UK. These are some other examples of Mithraic temples, or Temple of Mithras. They typically take the form of basilica-style underground corridors with vaulted ceilings. At the end of the corridor, there's always a very strange scene at the center showing Mithras slaying a bull. Mithras is portrayed as a young man wearing a Phrygian cap, indicative of his Persian origins, because Mithras originally is a Persian god. Well, emerging in the Roman world during the 1st century, the cult of Mithraism flourished until the 4th century, when it was suppressed by Christianity and vanished in the 5th century. Known as a mystery cult, Mithraism did not leave many first-hand narratives. Thus, our understanding of it largely relies on the interpretation of physical evidence, which is architecture and a rich collection of surviving artifacts. Well, in this scene, in addition to the bull, you can see a dog, a snake, a cop, a raven on top, a scorpion attached to the bull's genitals, and occasionally a lion, each symbolizing the constellations. Bull is Taurus, Scorpion is Scorpio, Corvus, Crater, Hydra, Canis Minor is the dog, and lion is Leo. Flanking the scene are 2 men, also wearing Phrygian caps. Their legs are crossed, and torches held in opposite directions. And encircling the scene on top, you can see the 12 signs of the zodiac. Well, above the bull slaying scene, you can see the sun god and moon god, Sol and Luna as well. Well, in more elaborate form, a wheat ear emerges from the bull's wound, signifying the star Spica, the brightest star of Virgo, the Virgin. Clearly the scene is not about a sacrificial ritual. It is a sophisticated astrological, mysterious map, intentionally mysteriously, because of mystery cult, encoded into this image, and undeniably communicates the central divine message of the cult. So if we can decode this, we're going to understand what they're talking about. Well, the Roman Mithras originated in the East, as Romans called it, the Persian Mithras, or the cultist mysteries of Persians, as Romans called it, and has much deeper roots there. The name Mithras is the name of Indo-Iranian deity Mithra, and the earliest recorded mention of this name dates back to the 14th century BCE in Asia Minor. So we have 14 centuries of history before it emerges in Rome, and you can see how it overlaps with Christianity. So let's decode this message. In Iranian mythology, which is the original mythology of, that describes Mithra, the universe, like before Big Bang, imagine, there was one god of eternal time. Nothing existed, no time existed, and he was called Zurvan. So he created the universe in finite time of 6 ages. And this is 12,000 years, and each age is 2,000 years. And he had 2 sons, good and evil, and he gave the kingdom of the world, this 12,000 years, to the sons. Each one is supposed to rule only 1,000 years alternately. And the evil always wants to rule more, and there is a cosmic mediator always watching and keeping the time of the universe, and he is Mithra. So that is what we know about Mithra in the mythology. And he keeps the 3D between good and evil. Well, this concept is astrological construct of the great year based on the geocentric understanding of an astronomical phenomenon called axial precession, or precession of equinoxes. We spin, we revolve around the sun, and we have a very slow wobble, which takes 25,772 years, and that causes 1 degree shift in the equinoxes and the whole universe in 70 years. So in 2,000 years, one constellation changes. The whole stars that we think are fixed, they have a small shift. For example, Aries is not the vernal equinox constellation. It was for Babylonians, but in astrology, we are in age of Pisces. We are moving to Aquarius, if you know astrology. So that's because of this scientific phenomenon. But that played a significant role in understanding of the time in ancient civilizations once they discovered it. Well, in Iranian mythology, Mithra is described as a celestial body in the north, never sleeping. So it's a circumpolar constellation. Also, the symbol of the broken cross associated with his 4-horse celestial chariot, always in the north, moving the sky. Well, the symbol was widespread in the Eastern cultures, and I believe it was often used to represent the north ecliptic pole in various ancient societies. Well, in this Mithraic bull-slaying scene, this is a Roman artifact. Also, we can see the symbol is associated with Mithras, and 2 other crosses, they associated with the 2 other men with crossed legs. So this is kind of, these figures are elaborated form of the original symbols. Well, if we look at the stars of the north ecliptic pole, we can see the pattern of a broken cross. That is the geometric pattern that we can see there. The center is Zeta Draco. The bull slaying is essentially a Roman personification of the celestial broken cross. The constellations present in Tauroctony provide us with the coordinate of Mithras' seat on ecliptic pole, so they help us to kind of calibrate the cosmos to find this constellation. By aligning the zodiac based on the constellations, like Taurus here, Scorpio here, and the rest, in Mithraic bull-slaying scene, we can better align the Roman Mithras to this star map. We can visualize Mithras as a constellation on the north ecliptic pole. And these artifacts are from UK, Hadrian's Wall, to Syria. They all match with the articulation of the stars because they technically sketched Mithras on the stars. That's why they all match. Here is the comprehensive star map of map that corresponds to the all constellations depicted in the Mithraic bull-slaying scene. 2 additional crosses are the two cross-legged figures symbolize the 2 points where the Milky Way crosses the ecliptic, which is illuminated by the zodiacal light, and that is the planetary ladder to the bridge to heaven. And I can, well, that's another presentation. I'm going to skip. Well, here, what is the core message of this? It is the torches point to the Virgo and Pisces, and Bull and Scorpio, that is the ladder to heaven, and also the coordinates. So this is telling you the beginning of the age of Pisces, Virgo, and the Mithras turning the whole cosmos. Romans likely signified the commencement of the age of Pisces, Virgo, with the precessional arrival of Spica, Virgo's brightest star, to on the celestial equator, and Spica gradually shifts and rises on the cardinal east at almost 1 AD precisely. So it is the time that we are crossing the border to Pisces, Virgo from Aries, Libra. So Jesus or Mithras. Significantly, the mythical birth of Christ coincides with the beginning of age of Pisces, Virgo, making the shift of equinoxes from Aries, Libra to Pisces, Virgo. In the New Testament, Pisces is symbolized by 2 fish, and Virgo is represented by the Virgin Mary. The precessional arrival of Spica on the cardinal east signifying the start of the age of Pisces Virgo, or the birth of Christ is depicted as three magi wearing Phrygian caps, following the star of Bethlehem in the east. You can't follow the star in the east, the stars are rising in the east, and you can't come from the east to west following the star in the east. So that is interpreting that Mithraic iconography of following Spica until it rises in the east. Spica is the wheat in Virgo's hand, which is house of wheat or house of bread, the literal translation of Bethlehem. So it is in star, not a city. Early Christian art frequently features the iconography of the crucifixion, showing Jesus on a cross flanked by two other crucified men. These three crosses bear a striking resemblance to the three figures and three cross signs found on Mithraic artifacts. Often two angels appear in the crucifixion scene, accompanied by the sun and moon in the upper left and right corners. These elements are also derived from the Mithraic artifacts. Well, the 12 disciples of Jesus not only align with the number of zodiac signs surrounding Mithras, but also they are symbolized as the zodiac signs often in Christianity. The parallels between the details of Christian paintings of Jesus and some Mithraic artifacts are quite remarkable. Here, Mithras, surrounded by a halo, raises his right hand and holds the cosmic sphere, and because he shifts the whole cosmos slowly, holds the order, much like the medieval depictions of Jesus and other images. The earliest identified Christian church, so archaeologically, this is the first church ever built because it is dated to 233 CE, was unearthed in the city of Dura-Europos in northern Syria. This is the first church, as we know of. The city is situated in the crossroads of antiquity between the Persians and the Romans, and was established by the Parthian Persians in 300 BCE and later seized by Romans in the mid-2nd century CE. Dura-Europos was a multicultural city. Different languages were spoken in the city, and different religions and cults practiced freely. See the map of the ancient city of Dura-Europos. The city contained a synagogue, a Mithraeum, both within a stone's throw, just footsteps of this first church in the same street. This attests to how a single Roman city could serve as a melting pot, combining ideas from diverse cultures, religions, and create new myths, rituals, and symbols. Archaeological findings from the site even suggest that the church ceiling, a wall decorated with white stars against a blue background, had a design exactly similar to the vault of the Mithraeum. This hints at the possibility of the same person having decorated both ceilings. The surviving frescoes in this church also represent the oldest known Christian paintings and the first depictions of Jesus ever. Among them is the Good Shepherd, an image of Jesus carrying a sheep, which bears a striking resemblance to Mithraic artifacts depicting Mithras carrying the bull. Well, in Dura-Europos, two other artifacts were discovered. They are in now Yale University archive: a bread stamp and a brooch in the form of broken cross, possibly related to Mithraic rituals. We know that Mithraism was particularly popular with the Roman army. Here is a mosaic image that depicts a Roman soldier wearing the same symbol, probably a Mithraist soldier, because it was popular in the army. On the other side, we can see an early Christian fresco in the Via Latina catacomb in Rome, shows Moses crossing the Red Sea under a star, with Moses wearing the symbol of the broken star on his robe. Well, the Mithraeum can be visualized as a symbolic planetarium representing the cosmos, revolving around the ecliptic. Mithras, positioned at the center of this room, personifies the cosmic cross. The architectural concept persists in Christian churches, where a basilica features a crucified God at its center. The equinoctial point of the horizon, or the cardinal east, marks the precessional arrival of the new age. Both Roman Mithraism and Christianity, they give a lot of importance to cardinal east, because that is where you can track the stars, as well as the solstitial and equinoctial points, because they remain the same. We can track that 1 degree every 70 years. So those points are important. In early Christianity, the combination of the cross and nimbus symbolized the presence of Christ throughout the cosmos, with the nimbus representing the celestial sphere. I propose that the cross resembling the center of the cosmic sphere serves as a foundational blueprint for sacred spaces. This architectural principle is not exclusive or original to Christianity. Take the example of the four tombs of the Achaemenid Persian kings, crafted into the heart of cross-shaped tombs carved on the face of the cliff near Persepolis 2,400 years ago. Fascinatingly, the Persians' early efforts to construct a dome on a cubic foundation known as chartaki may reflect the same principle. A chartaki comprises a dome built atop four pillars and arches, possibly designed to symbolically represent the cosmic clock in accordance with Persian cosmology. And this is the chartaki, and this is the Persian king's tombs, and you see a weird structure there. Also, it has the same geometry. And this sketch of chartaki is the best sketch I know and was done by Nader 55 years ago. I took it from his book. The later discoveries on chartakis show that chartakis are perfectly aligned to solstitial and equinoctial points of the horizon. So they are kind of an axis mundi, cosmic clock, crystallize the whole cosmos with those points. And there are many examples of them. And what I discovered there are contemporaneous structures in Rome. Most of these triumphal arches where Roman army with this Mithraic cult was there. They were also precisely aligned to the equinoctial and other points of the horizon. Perhaps it's not merely a coincidence that the proportions of a perfectly formed human body were seen as the mediator between the square, symbolically the terrestrial world, and the circle, representing the celestial divine. The fascinating correlation likely inspired Leonardo da Vinci creation of his renowned Vitruvian Man, based on Roman sayings. And at the core of this masterpiece lies a Neoplatonic notion that the perfect human body, which partially represents the divine and partially the material world, can help draw a squared circle, a task mathematically impossible due to nature of pi, because it's an irrational number. Well, in conclusion, in-depth study of Mithraic iconography and architecture uncovers the rich tapestry of religious, philosophical, and astronomical knowledge it encompasses. It provides an interesting lens to explore ancient cosmology, and its influence in shaping early Christian symbolism is undeniably profound. The underlying principle of these sacred architectures, capturing the fusion of the terrestrial and celestial, serves a testament of the enduring quest for understanding the cosmic order and our place within it. As a postscript, this is Mithraeum, and in Mithraeum, as a basilica, they sat on two sides. It was very close, and that torchbearers are kind of the points to ascend to heaven, and the cross presents the center of the universe, and the vault shows how the universe aligns and turns. This other photo, I took it this morning in meditation, and that is, you can see Julio, the first person wearing the same shirt. And it has two rows on the side to sit. So next time, if tomorrow morning, if you're meditating, sit back to the wall and feel if the vault of the chapel helps you to understand the universe revolving on the cross. Thank you.